The average grown adult breathes up to 10,000 liters of air per day, which is the equivalent of about 20,000 breaths. That's why it's important to know what is in the air that we are breathing. My name is Abigail Gilmore, and I'm here with Abby Johnston, Han Lu, and Annie. And today we will be discussing air pollution and its environmental, social, and health effects. Just a brief overview of the presentation. We will first start with an introduction of air pollutants and the effects that they have on the environment. We will then further discuss the effects of air pollution on the environment, the human health, and also social factors. This will lead us into a case study of both United States and Chinese cities. We will then follow up with different solutions to the air pollution problem and end with a brief conclusion. A basic introduction. There are several pollutants present in today's air. These include carbon monoxide, gases, and aerosols, which are present in many of today's products. These have several environmental effects, including haze, climate change, and many others, which will be discussed further. They also have several health effects on the human body, including both short-term and long-term effects. One major environmental effect is haze. This is something that is noticed because it is able to be seen in our air. There is some haze that is directly emitted, so out of motor vehicles or from power plants, and it is present inside of the cities where the pollutant occurs. However, this can also be carried, so it can start from a plant and be carried out into areas where this is not present, such as rural areas. It causes reduced visibility. As you can see in this picture, there are people with masks and you can't really see what's behind them due to the heavy haze. But also here in a more rural area, the Andes of South America, where you can see a clear haze present, or not clear. Air pollution also leads to ozone depletion and climate change. So there are several chemicals as listed which will actually deplete the ozone layer, which keeps out the UV radiation or blocks the UV radiation from the sun. These chemicals are found in coolants, pesticides, and aerosols such as a hairspray or a coolant in your refrigerator. So this increases the amount of UV radiation, which makes it to the earth where we are living. This causes decreases in crop yields and also in the human health, since our bodies then feel more UV radiation. Also, greenhouse gases, which are some gases given off that are air pollutants, so they're given off into the air, actually trap heat in our atmosphere, which leads to climate change as the overall global temperature then increases. Air pollution also has an effect on our bodies as we are breathing it in. So short term, this may lead to something as simple as irritation or coughing, but long term, after enduring this over a long period of time, it can also lead to cancers, asthma, and damage to several of your body systems, which you can see in this diagram on the right-hand side of the page.
Hi, my name is Abby Johnston, and I'm going to be talking with you about U.S. cities and how air pollution has affected close to home places. So here you can see a graph, and what we're looking at are different places and different ways that air pollution has entered into our societies. And it can happen in multiple places. It doesn't just have to be a city. It can happen in suburbs, urban areas, and even agricultural areas. And we're going to discuss that further in a minute. It can come in the form, as earlier discussed, in smog, haze, and a combination of both, which can often lead to blackouts and a lack of visibility, often causing issues and harm to those involved. Another side effect that comes with air pollution, which isn't as visible and oftentimes can be forgotten, is water acidity. And this increases as air pollution also increases. And these are two different studies done, one in the 1980s and one done from 1964 to the 2000s. And it's showing the levels of acidity found in in the water and the ecosystems of the environment. And this is very important because then it gets into the food chains and it ultimately affects us as well as other animals. Now, this graph is going to also segment us into the Chinese cities, but it's also going to be discussed right now, the US top 10 cities. And what I'm trying to show you here is that it comes in many different forms. Air pollution comes in many different forms. It comes from industrial, localized areas such as Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, which have power plants, smokestacks, and are known for their products that they produce. And they often emit many particles into the air, causing a lot of air pollution. Another type of air pollution, as discussed earlier, is the amount of agricultural pollution. And this is something that we don't normally consider, but it's very important because large areas with a lot of land mass that are being used for agriculture, the machinery that is used often kicks up a lot of dust, fertilizers, and it puts these particles into the atmosphere and can cause just as much air pollution as cars and buses in a city can. Another type of air pollution that is found due to topography is found in like Los Angeles or even Phoenix. And that's where you have mountain ranges on either side or one side, which are trapping large amounts of air pollution below in the valley because air is unable to come off of the mountains, go down to the valleys, and filter that polluted air out, therefore creating a hot, dense, collected area of high amounts of pollution and particles, often affecting people and animals that live there.
The situation of air pollution in China is pretty severe recently. The reason why are the traffic and the heavy industry. It is really bad in winters. When cities are heated by power generated by burning of coal, this generates large quantity of airborne particles. And when winds and precipitation are low, these particles can remain in the air over cities for a long period of time. Besides the reasons, here are some further effects of air pollution. First of all, parts of China, especially where the soil does not contain high concentrations of calcium, are affected by acid deposition. The present ozone concentrations in many big cities in China will be harmful for ecosystems and reduce the agricultural yield of sensitive crops. Secondly, air pollution also impacts China's economy, delaying or canceling flights and preventing shipments. In the most extreme cases, it can shut down the entire city. Lastly, particulate matter, especially the smaller particles, has harmful effects on human health. Estimates of deaths due to respiratory and heart diseases caused by air pollution in China vary between 200,000 to 600,000 per year. And here are the pictures of the air pollution in China.
I'll be talking about several solutions to the air pollution problems. Firstly, the government can help reduce air pollution by passing laws and regulations to make the companies and factories be more responsible of their manufacturing activities so that they cause less pollution. And it can also encourage or fund any technology changes that help solving air pollution problems, such as the research projects on the development of electric cars to reduce dependence on the conventional cars which burns fuels. And traffic also contributes to air pollution. Cars are powered by gasolines that burns petroleum, which is made up of hydrocarbon to release energy. Fuels aren't pure hydrocarbon, therefore engines don't burn them cleanly, and as a result it releases all kinds of pollutants into the air such as carbon dioxide. And the more use of car leads to more release of pollutants. In order to reduce emission of carbon dioxide, you can develop habits of walking or biking to destinations, or even switch to taking buses daily rather than driving cars. And doing small things daily, such as turning lights off or any electricity power off when not in use, can save up lots of energy. And it matters because most of electricity is still powered by conventional power plants, which still require burning of coal, oil, and gas, which produce various range of pollutants. And lastly, you can follow the steps of reduce, reuse, and recycle products in your daily life to help the environment from pollutions. And this concludes our presentation of air pollution. Thank you for watching.